Oh, hi guys. How's it going? Good? Yeah, it's been good here too. Probably, as you know, I was at 2 car shows during the weekend, and then I fixed my Spitfire, and it's been a couple of interesting days. So finally I'm back on the TR6, and hopefully today, not today for me, but today for you, because by the end of this video I hope we're gonna have this engine running. And what's left is only I need to install the gas tank, I need to run the fuel line, and I think that's it. Then we're going to be able to try and start it and test drive it in the air as it is, and then hopefully we're going to be able also to take it out on the road, in the backyard, and drive it a little bit to see if everything is going well. And we'll go from there. So let's get to work, because I already forgot what I've been doing here. Alright, so if you remember last time we had issues with hose, and this hose was actually too big. That was 3/8 hose, so it doesn't really work for us, but we have this now. I asked Jake to buy 5/16, so that's the right hose for here. I have a couple of filters here. I ordered in most motors, and I think they're gonna come soon, proper filters for here, but now temporarily, as a beginning, I'm gonna use one of these two. These are from my Spitfire. They can be taken apart. If you remember, I had a video about them. They were leaking, and I think this one is just screwed up. But one of them was, I could use it. The problem is, the problem with this one is it's leaking just a little bit. So, but I'm gonna use it in the beginning, so I can clean it whenever I need to clean it, because the gas tank I checked it 2 years ago and it was good. I don't know what happened for the last 2 years. It's hopefully there's no rust inside. I'm gonna check it again, but probably there are some debris and stuff, so it's good to have a filter that we can take apart, clean, and put back together. So I'm gonna use this one temporarily, and when everything is okay with the tank, we're gonna replace it with the proper filter. Okay, and this end I'm not gonna cut it yet. I'm gonna attach this end to the fuel pump, and then I'm gonna go under the car, and then I'm gonna cut it where I need to cut it. I might take you with me under the car. Really? Yep. Alright, so now we can cut the line here. It needs to go through this hole. And this is where we're gonna cut it. I know this line probably needs to be a little bit longer. The steel line should come up to here, and then from here there should be the hose, but for some reason it is shorter. So what I'm gonna do is I cut this piece of this is a heater hose, which I'm gonna wrap around the fuel line, and I'll try to shove it in there. Okay. I think that's better, right? Now, just for safety, we can do this. Okay, now it's not going anywhere, and it's not getting cut. And Here's our gas tank. Cleaned it outside and painted it more than 2 years ago probably. And since then it's been sitting with all this masking tape. So now, let's see what's inside. Not too bad. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a little bit surface rust. I don't know. I might pour some, what should I put inside? I don't want to go with muriatic acid, even though I have muriatic acid. You know what, I decided to go with rust converter. I'm just gonna put a little bit of rust converter inside. I'm gonna make sure all the walls are wet, because that's how it works. It just needs to weten the surface, and then in 20 minutes there's no evidence of rust anymore. So I'm just gonna make sure that I'm gonna wash it after whatever's left, and that's gonna be it, because the muriatic acid is too aggressive. It's really too aggressive for the amount of surface rust we have here. So now, by the time it does its thing, I'm gonna go and buy some gas, because we don't have any gas, and coolant, and I'll be back. Just wait for me, guys, okay? Okay, it's half an hour later, and we went and got a little bit of gas, a little bit of antifreeze coolant, and a little bit of starter fluid, quick start. So now, this I checked already, it looks great inside, so we now just have to wash it with a little bit of gas, and then we'll see what it looks like. Okay, now we're gonna dump this, and we're gonna do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times, as many times as needed, until we have a clean fluid, clean fuel coming out. Okay, it's pretty clean now. There is a little bit of evidence of rust over there, but I don't think that's too bad. But you see, there's a lot of garbage now there around the pipe, and the pipe, of course, is a little bit higher, so it doesn't suck all this garbage. But now, how do I take it out of there? I think I'm gonna use my vacuum pump. Right, I tilted it the other side so I can use the hole for the sender unit, and put my vacuum pipe there, right there. That's probably gonna stiffen my hose, but what can you do? I don't know if you see, I hope you do. And now we're gonna suck it out. Wow, look at that. Okay, not much, I don't wanna suck it with inside my pump, you know. That works pretty well. Well, look at that. I don't know if you see, but that worked very well actually, huh? So now I'm gonna do maybe 1 or 2 more times the same trick, and then we will see. Alright, so I cleaned, so I rinsed the gas tank 2-3 more times, and I think it's clean enough to be installed on its spot. But here I changed those grommets. There's a grommet here, there's a plug here, and plug there. So I changed those, and there was nothing here before, and I'm assuming this is where the drain or the output of the tank goes, and I'm assuming these are going there. I have also this felt, but for this felt I'm also a little bit confused because I checked the drawings and look at that. If you go to the Moss USA website, the felt is here under the tank, and there's another layer here over the tank. I'm not really sure why is that, but what is surprising me is that in the Moss Europe website is showing differently. Here the felt is coming behind the gas tank, so I'm not really sure where to put the felt now. So I think I'm not gonna install it now underneath, because it doesn't make any sense. You're gonna put the tank here, here, here. It's not gonna lay flat on this. It's gonna be in the air, you know. There's gonna be distance here, I'm sure. Uh-oh. I'm going too fast, am I not? I need to install the sender unit, right? Yep. Hold on, Lynn. Not so fast. Alright, that's fine. We can install the sender unit, but before we install it, I would check it if it works. And second, we need to make a gasket for it. So now we need to... What is the sender unit? The sender unit is a big resistor, variable resistor. So when the float goes up, it should be less resistance. When it goes down, it should be more resistance, and that controls the gauge. So we're gonna just go between ground and the wire here, and we will see what resistance we have. But oh, okay, actually that's how it needs to be, right? So it works. Not really. Obviously it's a little bit rusty. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray a little bit of penetrating fluid inside. Okay, I just need enough to spray fluid inside. So this one is different from the Spitfire. It goes between 20 ohms all the way up to 260. Well, okay, that doesn't matter. At least we know that it works. Perfect. So now we're just gonna close the tabs again, and we're gonna make a gasket for it. Alright guys, it's another day here, because last night I got tired and I couldn't find the screws for here, and I had to make a gasket, and so it became too late and I went home. And when I was home, I was chatting with Chef Tash, and I asked him, why would we have felt here on top and bottom of the gas tank? And he said maybe because of sparks, and that makes sense actually. So I glued a strip here, and I cut this felt in two, and I glued it here, so that's gonna be it. Today I found screws for here, so now we can just finish with that, and it needs to go this way. I made a gasket too, so now we can install everything. And I figured this is the vent for the fumes, not so much for the fumes, but to allow air to come in when the fuel drops down, because otherwise it's going to create a vacuum and the fuel is not going to go down. So it needs somewhere to breathe, you know, so I'm guessing this is the vent for that. Like snug fit, so I'm not even going to put a clamp on it. And then the other end I'm going to drop through that hole over there. Now we can put again our two gaskets here. Okay, the bottom of the seal is where we want it. Wow, nice. So now we can pour the fuel in, right? No? Who said no? Oh, okay, we're forgetting something. We need to connect the hose underneath. Oh wow. The line that I bent, this fuel line, I made it myself. And look how close it is to the truth. Oh, just lost my clamp. Alright, so it looks like we need a very short piece right here. Okay. This is the first fueling of this car. I'm gonna pour this jug. I think there was about 2 liters inside, and we're gonna check for leaks, and if everything is okay, we're gonna pour more. Guess what? The fuel filter is leaking. Didn't I tell you it was gonna leak? Anyways, I just got new one today, this one, so I'm just gonna replace it. Okay, the filter is changed, and I clamped the hose here before so it stops the leak. The little hose that I installed just now, and now I remove the clamp, and we'll see now if there are any other leaks. Nope. Okay. So far so good. No more leaks, so we can put more fuel in. Guess what, guys? While I was pouring the fuel, I saw this hanging on the wall, and I just realized that this is a canister of, I don't know, but that's actually the vent for the gas tank. Believe it or not, it was here for so long, for 2 years, I never knew what it was. It was just hanging on the wall. But now I was pouring the fuel, and I figured out that this is the vent with this canister here, probably full of charcoal or I don't know what. So I'm gonna replace it now. We have a saying in Bulgaria. Again, me and my sayings, no? But it is really very right. You don't need to be wise. You just need a little bit of wisdom, but you need it on time. So, who cares that for 2 years I didn't know what was that? It's as if I figured it out just in the right moment. Last night before I left, I managed to, I remembered it would be a good idea to take the spark plugs out and spray some WD-40 inside. So I did that, but also today I'm going to take out the distributor. I'm going to prime the oil system because this engine hasn't been run for a while, so it's a good thing to prime it. So now I'm going to turn the engine into position where the rotor points to first cylinder, and we're going to turn it to top dead center of first cylinder, and that's going to help us to position the drive gear for the distributor later. Okay, that's top dead center of first cylinder. Power stroke of the first cylinder. This oil will need to be changed, but we're going to change it later. It's not bad actually, but we're going to change it. So let's take out the distributor now, which is going to be tricky. So that's the correct position of the drive gear when the engine is in top dead center of the power stroke of the first cylinder. You see this slot? It is a little bit off center, and it is a little bit higher than the center, you see, and it's a little bit on an angle. So that's how it needs to be. So now we're gonna remove it, and then we're gonna have to put it back later. So we have to put it in the same position. So I use my magnet for that. Pulls it out right away. This is what it looks, the back of the drive gear. And I made this tool months ago or years ago, which is extension for ratchet, but it was broken, so I just cut a slot in it. So now I can drop this instead of the drive gear and turn the turn the oil pump manually. Not manually, but with my drill, for example, or with my impact gun. So I'm gonna just put it there now. I need a rag for sure, because it's gonna start splashing oil all over the place, and we don't want that. It's a nice and clean engine so far. Okay, and now I have to turn counterclockwise, because that's how the drive gear turns. It turns counterclockwise. Okay, so I'm gonna do this for a while, 3-4 minutes, and then I'm gonna assemble everything. Alright, so now we can install the drive gear back. We haven't moved the engine, so it is still in top dead center of the power stroke of the first cylinder, or the compression stroke of the first cylinder. And we have to remember now, this slot, you see how it is off center, so the slot needs to be above the center, and like that. At the end position it needs to be in this situation. But you see these teeth here, they're a little bit on an angle, so we have to drop it somewhere like that, and when it goes in, it's gonna turn and it's gonna come this way. But also we have to make sure that this slot now matches the slot of the oil pump, of the shaft of the oil pump, which is tricky. So first we're gonna match these teeth. We're gonna put it where we want it, and then we're gonna start spinning the engine until this clicks into the slot. So you're gonna see how this is gonna happen. So first we're gonna put it like that, somewhere like that. So when it goes down, it's gonna turn. I'm gonna try to keep my fingers away. Okay, you see, it turned a little bit, but I think that's one tooth too far. Maybe this is where we want it. Okay, because now it's gonna go even further down. Remember, when we start spinning the engine, it's gonna start going down. So I need two hands here and one hand there. Okay, it went in. So now I'm gonna bring it back to the top dead center to make sure that it is in the right location. Here. Is it in the right location? Yes. That's exactly where we want it. Perfect. Okay, the distributor is back on, and before I install the spark plugs and everything, I'm just gonna make sure that everything functions properly here. And actually the rotor spins, so we can do that. Now we can turn the engine freely, because we already primed the oil system. So let's see. She's alive, she's alive. Okay, so now we can put the spark plugs back in. So of course the center goes to the ignition coil. Okay, so that's fine. You know what, I want to turn the ignition on and make sure that I have power here. That's gonna be a long video, but I'm sorry. I want to make sure that everything is fine. So I have ground now because it is backfeeding from somewhere. I'm gonna turn the ignition on now. Okay, we have power when we turn the ignition on, so everything should be good. So cooling system now. Oh, and we have to connect the vacuum. Not so much for the advance, but so we can we don't lose vacuum there. And so we install the overflow bottle here with a zip tie, temporarily, permanently. Now we're gonna have to take it out and clean up the cap and everything, but for now we're gonna keep it like that. So far so good. I don't hear any drips anywhere. Oops, what was that? Let's check for leaks. So far so good. Okay, this is where we're gonna leave it, and if we have to, when it cools down, we're gonna check again the level, and maybe we can add if we have to. So I found the original vacuum line here, but it is dirty and stiffened, so I'm gonna throw it away, and I'm gonna use a new one here. It's much better. Okay, this way, maybe this way. Touch this adapter, which is not original, that is a limo part actually. And here. Perfect. So of course the fuel system is not primed. I'm gonna try to prime it with this, but it never works for me actually. Well, let's give it a try. So first, I'm gonna give it a little bit of choke. And I'm gonna have a way to hold both chokes at the same time. I need another person now. Can somebody come and crank it? No. Anyways, let's try without choke. Let's start with some starter tools. She's alive. I only had a way to push both chokes at the same time here. Who says we can't have our choke on? I'm just gonna do this. Let's see now what's gonna happen. Is it too hot for choke now? Let's see. Obviously, we have a valve that's clicking. We have the ignition is too far advanced, I think. The carbs need to be tuned. So there are many things. I just want to make it stay running for a while. Okay, we'll give it a little bit. We will retard the ignition a little bit. She's suddenly deciding to stop. No fuel here. So looks like we clogged the filter. I thought the gas tank was clean enough. Let's try again. Okay, so looks like we have combination of issues here with the engine, and obviously it's possible because this engine hasn't been touched at all. So I'm thinking first of all we have a weak starter. First of all I'm going to change the starter. We have another starter from the 74. I'm going to put the other starter here to test. The other thing is the valves, I can hear them clicking, so I'm going to make sure, I'm going to adjust the valves tomorrow too, to make sure they are okay. What else? The carbs obviously need tuning. I'm not sure that there's enough fuel coming to them, Probably the filter got clogged. And but she runs, and that's the most important part. And when she runs, she doesn't run bad, right? It's a little bit idling a little bit too high. I can see issues here with the linkage between the two cards, and that I have to take care of. So there are many little things that have to be fixed. So it looks like the first drive is not going to be as soon as I expected. But anyways, one by one we have to start fixing those issues. And I think that's priority. First of all, I'm going to fix all the issues with the engine to make sure that everything is fine. Then we're going to check the transmission. Yeah, I think that's enough for this video. We're going to keep going in the next one. Thank you for watching, guys, and thanks for being with me on my journey here with this car and with my other car, with the other cars, and with all the cars. So thank you, guys. See you later. Bye.